Yo, what's going on, guys? BS Gamer here, bringing you another Grand Cross video. Well, kinda, sorta. I'm gonna go over like a character concept that I made. It's not actually real, so don't take this to heart. It's literally just something that I came up with on the fly, and I was working on it for quite some time. Not gonna lie, it took a while to do it. So hopefully everything that you see here is accurate or close to it. But yeah, I just made this character concept because I thought it'd be fun, and if it gets enough support, I might start a series on it. Although it does take a while to make these cards because of all the typing, all the just a lot of stuff that I need to put in and whatnot. So yeah, it does take a little bit, but other than that, it should be fairly easy to create a series on this. But yeah, so I guess I'll just get started. So this character concept I came up with is Assault Mode Meliodas. And if you've seen already, he is a transformation unit, so he's gonna have two. He's gonna basically have two modes. Okay, so he's gonna have his regular mode, and then he's gonna have his assault mode, as it says in the title of his name. So yeah, he's a SSR, and I decided to make his attribute speed or blue because we already have Lost Vein, who's red. We have green counter Meliodas, and we have a lot of demon Meliodas. I believe we have every single color for demon Meliodas. So I was like, there's not really a good base blue Meliodas besides the SR one, and he can be decent, but there's not like an SSR version. So I just decided to make him blue because why not? And then his race is demon, obviously. So these are his stats at level 80 out of 86 starred. Alright, I'm not sure how you calculate combat class in this game. I tried to do HP plus attack plus defense divided by the three numbers, but it gave me like 22k, and then I have to take into consideration his ultimate gauge because that also increases CP, and his passive unlock, that also increases CP. So there's just a lot of stuff to take in. But yeah, so I just kind of basically gave a random number close to what I think it would be accurate in the game itself. And these are his substats. Again, the substats are made up. Everything like his pierce rate, resistance, regeneration, crit chance, crit damage, yada yada yada. They're all made up. But the numbers that I have, I thought would be fairly close to what he might have in the game. Honestly, it might be a little higher because I can see Assault Mode Meliodas becoming like maybe a download celebration or the 2nd year anniversary unit for JP. But yeah, so this is pretty much what I made up in terms of his substats. So yeah, take a look at that. His pierce rate's pretty high for what he is. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy. I mean, he has high crit damage, but other than that, nothing pretty crazy about his substats. But yeah, let's just get into his skills. Let's get into the bread and butter of this card. Okay, so in base form, he's gonna have Hellblaze drop. At rank 1 is an attack skill which inflicts damage equal to 240% of attack on one enemy. Rank 2 is 300% but fills ultimate gauge by 1 orb. And at rank 3, 500% of attack but fills 2 orbs. So this is Escanor's skill right here. I decided to give him Escanor's skill because I was thinking what would be best for this unit, and Escanor's skill 1 came to mind. I was like, yes, I'll definitely give this to him. And you're going to want to basically get ultimate gauge as fast as you can with base form Meliodas to transform into assault mode. Obviously, that's, you know, if this were a real unit, that's what you would want the most, to see the assault mode form of him. But yeah, then his skill 2 is the divine, or the 1000 divine slasher, which I believe I gave, I'm not sure whose skill this is, correct me in the comments, but I'm not sure whose skill this is that I gave him. But yeah, at rank 1, it inflicts damage equal to 220% of attack. Then at rank 2, 220% of attack again, but disables attack skills. And then at rank 3, it is 360% of attack and disables attack skills for 2 turns. So yeah, again, I'm not sure. I honestly forget who this was that I stole from. When editing this, if I find out who, I'll basically just put it in the comments or description or whatever. But yeah, I'm not sure. I can't think of the top of my head who I gave who skill this is that I gave Meliodas. Maybe you guys know. But yeah, then his ultimate is assault mode. So his assault so his assault mode isn't broken, but it also it's pretty good. So basically, assault mode, he undergoes a transformation for 4 turns, so you can only use this for 4 turns, whereas the other transformation units like Aaron and Camilla are 5, but you can only use his for 4. So he removes any debuffs from himself, just for himself, not for the allies, just for himself. But for each debuff removed, he increases his own stats by 2% for 2 turns. So only himself, and he increases all his stats, not just his base stats, all his stats. So his substats and his basic stats by 2% for 2 turns. And then I decided to give him damage inflicted will be effective against all types, basically for the remainder of the transformation. So yeah, he's gonna be hitting like a truck basically, because I decided to make sure that he could, you know, do damage against, let's say, Green Escanor, for example. I decided to just give him damage inflicted against all types be effective or whatever, because if Escanor came in, he would literally like destroy this blue Meliodas. It wouldn't even be a question. But with this, Meliodas stands more of a chance against him, right? So this would be his assault mode. And for the multiplier, for like if you get him 6/6, it becomes 7% at max. So every debuff removed gives him a 7% increase to all stats, which is pretty good, right? It's not crazy broken, but it can come in clutch. And then this would be his assault mode. So after transforming, his skill would be Purgatorial Rampage. So this would be AoE. So rank 2, it becomes a debuff skill, and this is Droll's. This is Droll's skill right here. He basically disables buff and debuff skills. The same attack multiplier 120%, and then at rank 3 becomes 180%, but disables debuffs and buff skills for 2 turns. So again, he's gonna be pretty good, and you're gonna see why, because this skill combos into something that I gave him. Alright, so we'll just go to skill 2, Unrelenting Assault. Again, another AoE. I decided to make all his skills AoE because he's going to be dealing crazy damage, especially since he has effective against all types, right? So then at rank 1, 120% against all enemies. Rank 2, same thing, but just decreases the defense-related stats by 20% for 2 turns. And then at rank 3, it becomes 150% of attack to all enemies, decreasing their defense-related stats by 30% for 3 turns. So yeah, it's gonna be a little not tricky, but when you decrease their defense related stats, that means that their crit resistance and crit defense becomes lower. So pretty good there. Again, if you're facing an enemy who can increase their defense, I mean, I guess it can counter this, but the reason I gave him this is because you're gonna want him to deal as much damage as he can. So you're gonna want him to obviously get crits off, and you're gonna want him to get as much damage, as much damage as he can. So that's why I gave him that. But then his ultimate, 1000 Divine Cuts. So it inflicts damage equal to 840% of attack to one enemy. That's it. That's all he has. There's no special thing. There's no spike. There's really nothing on his ultimate but damage. Okay, so we went over that, right? So again, I'm gonna go over his passive. Now his passive skill is gonna be pretty much why he's gonna be insane, in my honest opinion. So yeah, his passive at base is Heir to the Demon King, which reduces damage received against all types. So he's not gonna take any disadvantage damage at all. All damage gonna be neutral against him in base form, not in assault mode, in base form. So Green Escanor can't just come in and deal like, I don't know, 76k on a rank 3 or rank 2 skill against him. No, it's going to be neutral. He's not going to take more damage when Green attacks him. So that's why. So you can choose, right? You can choose whether to stay in his base form just to get, just to make sure that he's going to stay alive, right? Because it's just neutral damage. You're going to want to make sure he stays alive. Or you can just go straight into it and deal like, I don't want to say he's going to deal crazy damage, but hypothetically, if you do build him with, let's see his crit chance, 48%. Let's say you build him with a crit damage and attack set, I guess. He might do a little bit of damage because his crit chance isn't the best, but you can work with 48%. You can, right? especially since on his skill 2, he's going to be decreasing the defense related stats by 20 or 30%. So yeah, you can work with this unit. He's not, again, I didn't want to make him too like busted, but I didn't want to make him too weak. So I think I gave him a good balance in between. So again, it's up to you if you want to, you know, keep his guard against all types, basically. It's up to you. Again, completely up to you. But then we have his demon form passive. Okay, so his assault mode passive is reverted ruthlessness. So if he takes damage from attack skills, he's gonna reduce the damage by 80%. So literally, you can't do nothing against him if you use an attack skill. And and his skill 1 disables buff and debuff skills. So you literally cannot do anything against him if you get this off, because he's like, I'm telling you, if this unit becomes a reality, and let's just say they use everything, let's just say a Netmaru dev uses everything that's on here right now, he can't be hurt, because if you get off this disable buff and debuff skills, all they can do is attack, and and he's gonna literally recover 20% HP. He's gonna be bonkers. When you combine his skill 1 with his passive, he's gonna be insane. But again, it's up to you, because he's gonna deal crazy damage if you build him right. He's gonna do insane damage. The only thing that hurts him a little bit is the fact that all his moves are AoE. Again, I didn't want to make him busted, but I didn't want to make him weak. So all his moves are AoE. But again, he's not gonna take much damage. Even from a full counter, he's not going to take much damage, I don't think, because if you, it depends, right? Because full counter, the damage that they do is insane. Against green counter Meliodas, he probably is going to die in demon form. He probably most likely is going to die. But if you, like, use him at base and you get a full counter, like the enemy gets a full counter off, you're not going to take much damage, honestly. So yeah, again, I didn't want to make him too busted, but I didn't want to make him too weak. So this unit right here, this is what I personally built him. I think it's a good balance between, I think it's just a good balance in general, because his card he isn't primarily like the hardest hitting unit, but he isn't like the weakest in terms of defense either, because again, you can choose, right? If you want to go straight for the assault mode, obviously you're going to want to use his rank 1 skill, or his skill 1, right? And then if you just want to go for, I don't know, pure damage, I guess you would want to use his skill number 2 and skill number 1 on his base form, because he's just going to deal like massive damage regardless. And the fact that both of his skills in base form are single hitting target, he is going to probably deal out more damage than he will in assault mode. However, keep in mind that in assault mode, his damage is going to be effective against all types for 4 turns, basically the whole transformation. So you got to keep that in mind as well. And this increases the stats of the hero by 2%, 7% at max. You have to keep in mind that this is going to deal crazy damage. If you get, let's say you get 4 debuffs, that's 28% right off the bat. So yeah, you're going to turn all, you're going to basically remove all those debuffs and get a 28% increase to all your substats and basic stats, which is going to be, it's going to be good. I'm not going to lie. So keep in mind that he does have that. But other than that, again, he isn't the craziest. There are ways to counter this unit, because in base form, you know, you can just petrify him and call it a day. Even in demon form, you can as well. The only thing is, since he takes literally nothing from attack skills, you're pretty much gonna have to try and debuff him. But again, he disables buff and debuff skills, so it's gonna be tricky getting through this character. But I think there'll be ways to counter him. For instance, Green Easton might have a way to counter him, but we'll see, right? We'll see. Again, pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this unit. Again, not the craziest, but also not the most, you know, the weakest card. In my honest opinion, I would say he'd probably be an S tier. Yeah, S tier, because he's mainly a PvP unit. And PvE content, he might be able to do, he might be able to help out. But his main priority is and his main role is PvP. So that's why I built him the way he's built. But yeah, if it gets enough support, I'll do another character. Again, it does take a little bit of time because you got to make sure you get all the stats, skills. You got to make sure, I got to make sure that the font is right. It just takes a while, right? So yeah, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Grand Cross content. Again, if this gets enough support, I'll continue the series. Or if I'm ever bored, I'll make another unit just out of fun, right? But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, again, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Grand Cross content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.